So thank you for those of you that are here live. And I also want to thank those of you that will be catching this on the replay. I'm Kelly Wenzel, your Tastefully Simple consultant or leader if you're one of our Flavor Fox team members, like Tracy here. And so this is one of those things you don't have to be muted for. If you have, if it's pretty quiet at your house and you want to be able to chat it up, feel free to do that. I know it is pretty hot day. So if you need to grab a beverage, grab something to drink, something to eat, if you want to snack as we work, that's fine too. Um, and I'm just going to give you a couple of tips because I know Mary and Tracy are new to meal prepping. Welcome, Tracy. Tracy is one of our newest consultants on the team. So yay, Tracy, and her very first meal prep workshop. So Tracy, I had mentioned that you want to make sure you have a nice big bowl. There's her smiling face, Tracy. You want to get a nice size bowl because as we work on our different meals, we're going to put our bags that have like the meat inside of it. We'll put those in our bowl so that way things don't flip out and end up all over your counter. I had this happen once where one of the ladies, we were making soups that night and she was not using a bowl for some reason, and one of her bowl or one of her bags flipped over. So she was cleaning up soup for quite a while, quite a while.
Kelly, I
And
found galley
oh, look at
bags
those that
that
have the
flip
bottom.
out at the
So
bottom.
show us the bottom of that, Debbie.
Oh,
So it's just
wow.
like a flat
So it's got
bottom.
a flat bottom.
That is wonderful.
So I'm using these
Yes,
tonight for adding everything in,
I like it.
right? And then maybe next meal prep, I'll try to do like the meat in one and all of that.
Yeah, yeah,
Down in
I
my
love it.
Kroger, I was like, it's got a flat bottom. This is fantastic.
And are these freezer bags too?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because you always want to, you want to use free, you want to be mindful and make sure you're using freezer bags because you're trying to avoid all freezer burn for your meals, obviously. Um, one thing that I like to do is I love to fold over the tops of my bags when I'm working also because it kind of makes it a little bit more open, especially when we're using sauces. It makes it easier for things to go be put down in there. So that's something you want to do. And then the other tip that I like to share is I personally like to double bag my meals. When I pull them out of the freezer and they're defrosting for the night, I just want to make sure that, if there was anything that was punctured for some reason, I don't want it to be leaking in my refrigerator and I'm not aware of that. So that's why I like to do it this way. And Tracy, I know you're watching today because your meal kit. Suzanne, she ordered her meal kit and it got lost in the shipment and she didn't get it. So she's just being a good sport and tuning in to catch it all on the, see us and be with us, and then gonna actually do it later, make the meals later. So I'm so sorry that that happened. So
Yeah, that's
that is a bummer. So, but I bet it'll be there by tomorrow. So you'll be like, yeah, but it's not here today. So yeah. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and get started with our barbecue chicken and bacon sandwiches, which I don't know about you, but this sounds phenomenal because anything with smoky bacon barbecue sauce is like something I'm just in love with. And so this is going to be pretty simple. What we're going to do is we want a thinly sliced chicken breasts. The idea was not to have, how most of the time when we get our chicken breasts, there's that really thick chicken. So a couple of things you could do. If you have a thicker piece of chicken, you can either use like a meat tenderizer to flatten your chicken out by pounding on it. I do that. Um, comes Wanda in. I do that with I put the chicken on just a regular like bake or not baking sheet, but just on a chopping mat. And then I'll put plastic wrap over top of the chicken and then pound it down so that it's flattened out. The other option would be if you have a thicker chicken breast and you feel comfortable to put support on your chicken breast and slice it. If you have a nice knife that you can slice and fillet it right down the center, that's the other option that you could have. And then the third is you can actually buy at many grocery stores now the thinner sliced chicken breasts. And so those are kind of nice. we're doing the thinner slice because we want to get an even bake. We want it to be not taking so long to cook because we don't want to dry it out. Okay, so that's why we're going with it that way. So you should have six slices of chicken, boneless, skinless chicken breasts. And what we're going to do now is we're going to take those out. So if you don't have like a cutting mat or something out or something you can work on, I would get something out onto your work surface so that you can put your meat out on top of it because we are going to dredge through. We're going to dip each breast in flour and then shake that off. So if you have a shallow pan, you might want to get a shallow pan out and then go ahead and have your flour. You need a fourth of a cup of flour in your shallow pan. And here comes Christopher.
Yay.
Hey. So Tracy, Christopher is even newer than you. He's like 2 weeks younger than you on the team.
Okay. I don't think
Hey,
I got.
Christopher.
Hi, how are y'all?
Good.
Hi.
We're glad you're here. We're just getting started. So
Awesome. It took
So-
me a little minute to get the Zoom up, I'll update it.
that's all right. And you know what? Debbie, we were just saying that she was like, I'm trying to get onto my computer. It's always a thing. It's always you think you're
always a
ready
thing with me.
and then you're not. So yeah, it is no big deal. So we're just getting started with our first meal. And a couple of things that I said, Christopher, was, and Wanda, you might not have heard this. If you have a large bowl, one of the things I like to do is to have a bowl handy so that when we're putting things in bags, we can have the bag inside the bowl so we don't have it flip over and out onto your counter. Okay. It just makes it easier to work with. The other thing is it's nice to fold the tops of your bags open because it allows you to get things into the bag without making big messes all along the side and around the lip of it. All right, so we are doing our barbecue chicken bacon sandwiches. And so the first thing we're going to do is we've got a cutting mat or something out that we can work on our workstation. And then if you have wax paper or parchment paper, you want to go ahead and roll some of that out. And we're going to lay our chicken breast out on top of that. Tracy, do you need me to unmute you? No? Okay. She's like, there's noise in the background.
Hey, Kel,
All
I
right.
think after we drench it in the flour.
We're gonna actually sprinkle it first off with you can do either or, but you want to sprinkle each side with some ultimate steak seasoning.
Gotcha.
But if you prefer to do, you just want to sprinkle it on after you've floured your chicken, that's fine. Okay. And we're just gonna kind of shake off the excess flour. We just don't want it to be all caked on, but we just want at least a light breading on there for when we do this on the griddle, either on your stovetop or on your outdoor griddle. Okay. Now, one thing that you'll do, and if I go too fast, just let me know. One thing you'll do is you're going to put plastic wrap, I'm not plastic wrap, wax paper or parchment paper between each chicken breast as you go. If you prefer to wrap each chicken breast, that's fine too. I know Debbie, because Debbie cooks for just herself, she has a great system. I'm going to let her talk about that. So Debbie, I'll turn it over to you and you can just tell me or tell all of us how you divide it up.
So after I do the meal prep, I'll do everything, but I set it all aside. I don't immediately put it in my freezer. And then I'll take like the seal plastic wrap,
Yeah.
seal each piece individually, place it in the bag, and that way I can just grab one out and cook it at a time.
Yeah.
Or
that way you're not wasting it.
correct. Or depending on the meal, I'll make it all and then divide it up and refreeze it and pull it out as I need it for lunches, dinners, whatever. So
And
it
so you
works
do
out really
refreeze.
nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you and you've had no problem with refreezing and you've done this for over
No,
a year now with me.
exactly.
So
Especially like on the slow cooker meals, because
mhm.
it's hard to separate those before.
Yeah.
So it still works out perfect.
Great. And that's good to know. I'm glad that you mentioned that because some people are a little worried about like, oh, I defrosted, I don't know, I cooked it, and now do I just have to get rid of it or can I refreeze? So it's good
It
to know
works
that you
out
do that.
perfect.
Perfect. Awesome. All right. Is everybody doing okay with your flouring the chicken?
Hmm.
All right. Sounds good. And then once you have those wrapped, then you're going to go ahead and put them in your gallon size bag. And again, have them wrapped separately. And does everybody have the prep instructions? Did everybody get these? Okay.
Mhm.
This way, if
Yeah.
you want to make these again, or if you want to share it with other people, you can always do that too. So,
Kelly, I
right.
don't have a printer yet. This is
Okay.
Wanda. I don't have a printer
Yeah.
and I'm down a refrigerator.
Oh no.
So
Dang.
yeah, we took everything out to try to get the ice maker to work. So I'm watching
Okay.
and taking notes.
There
One
you
of these
go.
days I'll be able to participate.
That sounds good. Oh, that sounds good. Well, we're glad you're here, just checking it all out. So, and it's being recorded, so you
Yeah.
can always go back to it later on. So, all right. So once you have the chicken all in your bag, we're going to add 12 slices of bacon into that gallon size bag as well. Now, if you'd like to wrap that separately, feel free to do that. We're not wrapping it. We're not going to be wrapping that on the chicken. It's not a chicken wrapped sandwich. It's the bacon will be on top. So,
Where do you get the instructions at? Like, does it come
they're
with a
on.
box?
They will be, yes, you will have your cooking instructions. That's a great question. Your cookbook will actually be in the box when you get it. Debbie, do you happen to have yours handy, or
I
Mary or
do.
Tracy?
So you get this.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
mine was across the room, so I'm like, yeah, I'm not
And
gonna
then it
make you
tells
wait for it.
you everything you need to do other than freeze ahead. But
Yes,
like it'll give you step-by-step instructions.
Okay, cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
And in this one, it actually not only does it give you the griddle instructions, it also gives you if you're doing it on the stovetop.
Yes.
So if somebody says, well, I don't have, a Blackstone griddle, it's no big
Mhm.
problem because they can just, it gives
Yeah.
you the instructions for stovetop as well.
Yeah.
We've
Okay.
thought of everything here. So
Okay.
that was a
And,
great question.
and
Thanks, Tracy.
Kelly,
Yes,
Kelly, if you have the products but didn't get the kit, you can download the PDF
correct.
from the
Yes,
site. Right? Yeah.
yes. So if you're ever wanting to, yeah, just like I post on the team page, if you had those ingredients, just go and you could, yeah, you could definitely get the PDF. When you go to the shopping link,
Mhm.
on your website, then you can find the 5 meal kit and it actually gives you the PDF. So
Okay.
yeah, great points, ladies. Thank you. All right, so how are we doing? Can we move on? All right, so our next thing that we're going to be doing is we are going to put in a quart size bag. So we're finished with the gallon size bag, so you can seal that up. Get all your air out. You want to make sure you squeeze as much air out of your bags as possible because air is the enemy when we're doing meal prepping. Any meals that we're freezing, if you got air in that bag, you're going to have freezer burn, and that's going to take away the flavor of your meat. It's going to just be gross. And so we just try to get as much air squeezed out as possible. Okay. So you can put that bag aside. And then in your quart size bag, we need 1 medium onion sliced, and we need 1 tablespoon of the ultimate steak seasoning. And then we're just going to get the air out of that and seal that and put it aside. And I have somebody chiming in here, so let me see if they're trying to get into the workshop. Nope. It's my hostess. I love a happy hostess. She's excited. She's getting all kinds of free stuff. So yay.
Hey.
That's a good thing. So
All right.
and with this, the idea of slicing the onion up, you're slicing it because it's going to go on top of the bird or of the chicken breast. It's a topper at the end. So,
Mhm.
but you will saute that just a little bit.
Mhm.
And if you don't like onions, you could always skip that part of it. That's the nice thing of these meal prep workshops If there's something that you don't like, if there's like a protein that you don't like, you have somebody who's vegetarian and you need to do like a vegan, or whatever the vegetarian option is for that meal, you can always make the changes. There's not a problem with doing that. So
I was actually about to ask that. I'm like, I'm not a big like red onion person, so I
yeah,
was
skip it.
Vidalia onions are my
Mm.
favorite. So
Yeah,
would that be a good alternative and stuff?
definitely. Yeah,
Okay.
definitely you can switch things out, omit things. I'm not a green pepper person. I love red and yellow and orange peppers, but I don't like green. So whenever something calls for a green pepper, I really am like, yeah, we're gonna switch that out to red or yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So that's the beauty of these. That's kind of the difference with like when you have HelloFresh delivered to your door or some of those other ones, you get whatever is kind of put in your box and that's what you're getting. And so this way you're shopping local, you can change things up if you don't like something, and that makes it really nice. So, all right. Are we able to go on or are we still cutting onions? Good to
You
go?
got it.
All right. So next thing that we're going to do, you can either use like a small container that can be put in the freezer, or you can use another Ziploc bag. But what we're going to do is we're going to put 6 tablespoons of the smoky bacon barbecue sauce. And if you've never tasted this, I would put your finger in and just do a little taste because it is delicious. I used to think that Montgomery and barbecue sauce, I was like, oh, it's better than, ours I'm sure is good, but I like Montgomery and I finally started using ours and I was like, what was I thinking? Like, why did I waste so much time on this one? It's so delicious. And it's thick and rich and just delicious. So, but yeah, so we're doing 6 tablespoons. Now, a little tip when you're using, if you don't have a jar, what you can do when you're ready to use it, like if you have it in a baggie, cut the corner of your baggie and squeeze it out over top of wherever you're going to be, drizzling it on. That way you're getting this, you can kind of squeeze it down, like make sure that it's all squeezed to one corner and get it out. And it allows you to get the most out of your storage there. And then once you have all those bags, once you've done that, you're going to seal that bag and we're going to put all 3 bags in a separate gallon size bag so everything is stored together. And I would always try to make sure that I put on the Ziploc bags the date that I made the meal, because that way if for some reason it gets pushed to the bottom, of your freezer, you're like, oh, how long has it been in there? You know how long it's been in there. You could even do like you could put a G for or GR for griddle or O for outdoor griddle or OG maybe. Yeah, do OG outdoor griddle. And that's what meal kit it came from.
So
So that
are
way when you
these,
need
I'm sorry.
go ahead.
Are these for like solo meals or is this a family meal?
So this is a family meal. So all of these meals are 6 servings. So and I feel like they're a good portion. Don't you, Debbie and Tracy?
Yes.
Tracy's feeding up quite a few people in her family. Tracy and Debbie are total opposites. So Tracy has a boatload of people in her house, and Debbie is cooking for one, and so they're both making it work. And that's why, like Debbie said, how she'll take and separate the meals out, so that she can get multiple meals. So where Tracy's getting just 5 meals or 2. Yeah, she has to do a double batch. Yeah, she does double batches of the meals. Debbie takes and with the 5 meals, she's probably getting 10 meals or maybe even 15 meals out of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was a great question.
I come from the restaurant world, and I highly recommend, instead of like writing like on the plastic and containers and stuff, masking tape is actually a really good thing.
That's
because,
awesome. Yeah,
yeah, a lot of times, even though they're frozen and items like that, like those can smear.
that's true.
So
Yes.
I've been notorious for using masking tape because that doesn't, and you can write out all the information that you need, like you were stating, Kelly.
That
Awesome. I
is
love that. Thanks
awesome.
for that tip.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
See, and that's the reason I love these workshops is because there's always somebody sharing something that can help somebody else out. And like that's a great tip. So thank you, Christopher.
Yeah.
Yay, good job. Hey, way to step in right away and do something like that. Yay. because if you know me, you know I'm more of an appetizer person than a dinner person. So for those of you that know me well, I like party food a lot. So I'm always learning from people.
Yeah.
All right, so we're ready to go on to hibachi style Bayou chicken fried rice when you're ready. Give me a thumbs up when you're ready to move on.
I'm good.
All right, sounds great. Okay, so for this one, what we're going to be doing is we need 1.5 pounds of the chopped boneless chicken breast already in your gallon size bag. If it's not already there, please get that moved into the bag. We're going to add salt and pepper, just so you kind of know how much salt and pepper you like. If you don't like salt and pepper, you can totally omit that. And once you've done that, get the air out of that bag, squeeze it, seal it shut and put that aside. This one is like puts together pretty quickly because you're just adding 3 things to the bag, 3 different bags. So did anybody look at these and say which one they want to try first?
I haven't-
Hibachi chicken.
Yeah,
Hibachi
this is the one that I'm more excited about. And then my other half is a vegan or a vegetarian on the verge of vegan. And this is like the dish that seemed to pop out the most. So
That's awesome. Okay, cool. Yeah, this is the one I'm like most excited about too. So, all right. So once you have your chicken in the bag, you've sealed that. You need another gallon size bag, and you're just going to put your 4 cups of assorted stir fry veggies in. Now, let me say, if you have it in if it's already in a frozen bag that's sealed, and it's about 4 cups, you don't have to open it to dump it into another bag. If you want to just throw that bag in our big gallon size bag later on, that's fine. And then once you've done that, seal that, put that one aside, and then we need a quart size bag because we're putting our 4 cups of cooked, cooled rice in that bag. And I was talking to my friend about this one because I have not made this recipe yet. But Angie, who's a Taste with Simple consultant, has, and she said, you like the rice to be already cooked and cooled. I don't, for some reason, and Christopher, you've been in the business, I don't know why, maybe any of you. She said you want that rice to already be like completely cooled because the consistency of it will be better when you're finally making it. So
Gotta fluff it too.
yeah.
Fluff it with a fork.
Yeah.
you definitely want to let it cool because it swells while it's cooking.
Yeah.
Then when it cools down, the consistency kind of saturates itself and comes back to form.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, very cool. See, I'm learning all kinds of stuff.
No, I say who knew, but he did.
Yeah, he did. All right, so once you have that, go ahead and seal that bag. Again, you're always trying to get as much air out as possible on all of these things. And then the last thing that you need for this one is you're going to need a 1/3 of a cup of Bayou bourbon glaze. I think it's a 1/3. Let me double check that. Was it a 1/3? I'm sorry, it's a 1/2 cup. So you will need a 1/2 cup of Bayou bourbon. You have 2 choices here. You can either pour it into a quart size bag, or if you want to just, take your bottle and say, put a note like Christopher said, some masking tape on it, like, hibachi meal, don't use, because if you're like me, I'm notorious for running in and grabbing a bottle and then like, oh no, I didn't leave it for the thing I need it for. So, but once you have that put aside, then you're going to put all 3 of those bags, or 4 if you put the Bayou bourbon in a bag. All of those go in 1 gallon size bag, squeeze all the air out, and then you're done with meal 2. Not too bad, huh?
Yeah.
Pretty easy.
Easy peasy.
Yep. Yep. And then like Debbie was showing the cooking instructions for when you're ready to make it. Those are right there in your cookbook. Or if you do the PDF printable file. So, and then the other thing that we always do for you is we always on this document, because every time I do a workshop, I know you can't really see it real well, but every time I do a workshop, we'll have a document of the grocery lists. And down here at the bottom, we'll do these. These are the items you need for when you're making the meal. So that's why we don't like have you get, burger buns now if you're not making the dishes that you need those buns because there's no reason to buy them and then have those frozen too. Get
Right.
those things as fresh when you're ready for them. So yeah.
Cool.
All right, give me a thumbs up when you're ready to go on to the next one. All right, I see thumbs up too. All right, cool. All right, this next one is, I think, going to be a really fun one because you're going to use two different taco shells. This one, it's seriously just two ingredients and then the shells, and then whatever you're going to use as your toppers at the end. So you should have 1.5 pounds of lean ground beef. They say 85% lean. I am like like a leaner ground beef cut, or the leaner ground beef, I should say. So you can pick and choose what kind you like. Um, that you want to go ahead and put in your gallon size bag and seal it, put that off to the side. And then in a snack size bag or quart size bag, whichever one you have, you just need 3.5 tablespoons of mom's favorite taco seasoning. So just so you know, just gonna grab one of these. So this is not mom's favorite taco seasoning, but it's a regular size jar. Our regular size jars, these lids are 2 tablespoons. So whenever you're measuring things, like when you're making dip at any time, you can just use your cap because it always says 2 tablespoons. So yeah,
That's
so it's a
cool.
fun little, yeah, so that's just a nice little tip. And that's always a fun thing when you're talking to clients. Like, hey, by the way, you can use your cap for the making dips. People are like, no way. So yeah, that's just a little trick of the trade. All right, so for me, I'm just going to tell you, it talks about freezing your tortilla shells, and the I'm not going to do that. So that's just not me. I'm just going to have mine. I keep mine in my pantry for when I'm ready to make the meal. So you can make your choice on this. The directions say, once you have your seasonings in the bag, the next step is we're going to freeze each type of shell in its own bag. So you would grab a gallon size bag for each of the different shells. You're looking to do 6 6 of the different shells. So but if it's still in the store packaging, you could just leave it sealed in that. If they're opened, you might want to use some wax paper sheets. I buy these little parchment sheets at the Dollar Tree now, the $1.25 tree. But it's kind of nice. They're 60 in a pack, and they're just nice because then you can, when you're doing burgers or if you're trying to keep things separated without having to wrap them all up, you get the idea. So
Yeah, that's a great
yeah.
idea, actually.
Yeah. So I just came across those, and they seem to be working. So. Now, if you are going to freeze your shells, one thing you're going to want to do is make sure you thaw them at room temperature. If the tostados are not crisp already, then you can put them in the oven at 400 degrees for just a few minutes to warm those up when you are ready to make this dish. Okay. But again, like I'm not going to put them in the freezer. That's just my preference. So you make that
I'm-
choice on what's good for you.
I'm okay doing the flour in the freezer, but not
But
the stuff.
yeah,
I
I
was like,
could.
that is weird.
I know. I was thinking that too. I was like, if I'm gonna
Totally
do
agree.
that, I'm like,
Sorry,
yeah, sure.
it's just me.
Yeah, no, you're not alone on that. So
All right.
Not at all.
yeah. So all right, so just put those 2 bags, put the meat and the seasoning, and if you're doing any of the shells in a bag, put all those bags together in one separate gallon size bag, put that meal aside, and we are moving on to number 4.
Quick question, Kelly.
Yes, sure.
So obviously being new to a lot of the products and stuff, and we put like the amount of the seasoning and stuff. I'm a seasoning person.
Yeah.
So is it per choice or is it like outside of that? Like, like if have you made a dish where it's like outside of what we're learning today, like have you used like an excessive amount of seasoning?
I will tell you, my suggestion would be start with what they tell you to do, and you can always add more in. I feel like you have a lot of flavor in a lot of these seasonings, especially like the ultimate steak seasoning. It's a packed full of flavor, and you don't need as much as you'll think you will need.
Okay.
So I would start with less and then add as you
Go
see,
into it.
like as you see fit. Yeah,
It's kind of like
yeah,
garlic.
exactly. You can
Yes.
always add more, but you can't take it out once it's in there, and you'll be like,
Yeah.
oh, wow, that's really, because like for the ultimate steak seasoning, especially that one is very similar to like a Montreal steak seasoning, and it does have the sodium in it. So I always caution people on that one, to just not go overboard with it. Now for the mom's favorite taco seasoning, that one is very mild. If you like pop of flavor even more, then yeah, feel free to use more of that one. Um, and the other thing with that is we also have, even though it's not in this kit, we also have a Fiesta Party seasoning.
Oh,
And before we had Mom's favorite taco seasoning, the Fiesta was the only one that we had. So
okay.
that one has more pop, like more, it's hot, it's a spicier one.
Okay.
So if you like more heat, I would go with that one. And it's
Cool.
not even more heat, it's just got a little bit more kick to it.
Awesome.
We came out with Mom's favorite because people were wanting a more mild one for when they were making taco meat. Well, some people were wanting more mild, and so that's how that got started.
Cool.
Yeah, great questions. All righty, are we ready to go to our sausage and tortellini stir fry? I know, right? Doesn't I saw Debbie just go.
I'm so excited about this one.
I know, it's gonna be awesome. So
I just
okay.
have to do a shout out to Debbie because you were so cute.
Thank you.
Yes, you are. You're adorable. I'm just like watching you, and I'm just like you're having all the emotions and stuff, and I'm like, she's so cute.
I
She
love
loves her
doing
meals.
these. I
Yeah,
really do.
and you've been doing them now for I think about a year, right? Haven't you been doing them with me for almost a year or maybe
Yeah,
more?
probably. Yeah.
Yeah, most of them. Yeah, it's
Awesome.
awesome. And it takes the headache out of it, right, Debbie? You know what you're having for meals, and
Absolutely. I know what I'm having.
yeah, yeah,
Grab and go.
yeah.
It's
Not
awesome.
running through the drive-through, so that's a good thing.
Right. A lot healthier.
Stay away
Yeah.
from stay away from the drive-through.
Yes, exactly.
McDonald's.
Yeah,
Yes.
yes,
No.
exactly. So,
Nope. Nope. Nope.
all right. So this one, you should have 14 ounces of smoked sausage rings, like the smoked sausage rings sliced. Put in your gallon-sized bag, and then you're gonna keep that bag like and set it aside. What the next thing is that we're gonna do is we are gonna need the microwave for a minute because we're gonna be doing 1/4 of a cup of dried tomato and garlic pesto, 2 tablespoons of water, and 1 1/4 cup of olive oil. Okay, so we're gonna do all of that, and we're gonna just microwave it so that it'll make up your pasta or it'll make up your pesto for you. And then you're gonna microwave that on high for 1 minute, and then we'll add that to the container in just a few. So I'm gonna let you kind of go off and do that. And if anybody has any questions or anybody wants to talk about anything while you're doing that, sounds good.
By the
I will
way,
tell you,
a
yeah.
1/4 of a cup is 4 tablespoons. So just fill it.
Yes, exactly. Very good. And besides using the dried tomato and garlic pesto for this, if you love shrimp, there is a shrimp and spaghetti squash bowl recipe that's on our website that's fabulous. If you've never made that, make sure that you look for it or remind me and I'll get the recipe out to you. This is also another great one to just even make the pesto and serve with our bountiful beer bread. So perfect one for that.
Have you just a quick question? Sausage wise, is it always gonna like there's a preference? Like I don't know if you've made the dishes and tried different sausages with it.
Yeah. I have not tried different sausages with it. I actually have not made these are new meals to me too.
Okay. Okay.
So I have to be honest, they're not made yet.
Okay.
So, and I talk it through with all of you because I slow everybody down if I'm trying to make them while I'm giving the instructions, I slow people down. So, in
Kelly, what
terms
was the
of
name of the shrimp? What was the name
Oh,
of the?
it is, let me pull it up for you. It is, I'll give you the actual name. So Christopher, I'm sorry that I don't have a definite on the sausage. Does
Oh, no,
anybody have an opinion on that? Thoughts on Tracy?
it'll probably most likely be a choice of sausage is what I guess
Wait,
that.
froze. Yeah, whatever you like.
Actually, you
Yeah,
can
whatever
do
you like
whatever.
best. Yeah. Yeah.
There's
Okay,
an
I'm
inside
gonna look
joke.
at the
There's
rest.
an inside joke there somewhere. I'm sure too.
I'm just gonna let that one go.
Yes, there is, but yes. Okay, so I'm looking at the recipe, and if you're not used to looking up recipes yet, when you go to tastefullysimple.com, you can actually search recipes by the product that you have. So I'm just going to look up dried tomato and garlic pesto,
Mm.
and there's 71 different recipes that have that in it in some way. So, and that particular recipe is called. I'll have to go through like all the screens because not first. I didn't want to tell you the wrong thing. So there's a one dish that I didn't mention. It's called a mix and match sheet pan dinner, and you put your veggies and your like meat, whatever you're going to use, or if you're not using meat, if you were using like tofu or whatever, you can put it on, and it's a sheet pan that uses this also. But that's not the dish I was talking about. So, but I
Are
did
you
just see
looking
that one.
for, Kelly,
I
are
am
you
looking
looking for the shrimp
shrimp.
scampi squash ball?
No, it's called shrimp
No,
pesto bowl. You
shrimp
won't find
pesto.
shrimp pesto bowl. And I don't think you'll be able to, and it's not a very good picture of it, but it's spaghetti squash and shrimp, and it's called shrimp pesto bowl.
Thank you.
Sure. Yeah, and it's I love it. It's such a great dish. That's one that we've done multiple times. So, but the shrimp scampi I'm sure would be really delicious too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a couple thousand recipes on the website, so there's a lot of different ways. You'll have ingredients left over. So, I encourage you to either make the meals again, the ones that you really love, or use whatever products you have left. Check out some of the recipes and try some new things as well. So yeah. All right. How are we doing on that? The pesto.
My house smells amazing now.
I
Thank you.
know.
I know. I'm with
Sure.
you.
Glad to help you out. And so what we're going to do with that is we are going to place that in a container. Um, if you have a little container, add it to that container, and then put it in the quart size bag. If you don't have a little container to put it in, you might want to let it cool a little longer before you go putting it into a quart size bag. Just, and make sure you stir that up really nicely. So, and then we're just going to put that off to the side, seal that bag, put it off to the side. And then we're going to need 2 more quart size bags. One quart size bag, we're going to be adding an 8-ounce package of fresh sliced baby Bella mushrooms. And then the other one, we're going to be doing 5 ounces of fresh baby spinach leaves. And I know it sounds weird to freeze that. We have done that before though, and it's been fine. If you are like, oh, I don't want to do that, and you want to wait and use spinach later, that's fine too. But I've done meals before where I've frozen those before. So just want to again get your air out of the bags. And then the last, if I'm going too fast, let me know. Should I slow down? Am I good?
You're good.
Okay. So then the next thing we're going to do is, and if you don't have snack size bags, don't worry about it. Use a quart size bag. We're going to do a half a cup of the grated Parmesan cheese. And then we're going to, all of these bags, I know they're small, separate bags, but you're all gonna eventually put it all together. And then the the frozen tortellinis can just stay in their own bag. You don't have to open them and put them in another bag. And then once you have that all put together, they all go in 1 gallon size bag. Get the air out and seal it and put it off to the side. And then we are moving on to the last meal of the night.
Smash burgers.
Gonna be delish. And when you're ready, ladies that are making them, give me a thumbs up. Christopher, I owe you a flyer. I didn't forget that, but I need to get some information from you,
Okay.
like your address and everything again.
Okay. Gotcha.
So
Yeah. I'll text it or
yeah,
text it.
that'd be great.
Okay.
I was like, it's like, oh, I need to get that from him because I can't make this flyer. I knew your address, the house, like because you gave that to me once before,
Yeah.
but I didn't know because I think you said you were having it at
It's
a
already
room.
like a community room. Yeah. It's
Community
got
room,
like a
yeah,
pool table and everything too. So like even if people
Oh.
want to come in like play pool and stuff too.
That's awesome. He's having his open house next week, so next Thursday.
Yeah.
Okay.
I live downtown Cincinnati. If any of you guys want to come and say hi,
Yeah.
come do it.
7 to 9 p.m.
7 to 9 p.m. on Thursday.
7 to 9.
Yeah, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Yeah, 9 p.m.
I might come in boxing clothes,
Oh my
but
gosh.
I
I'll
might
be there
stop
too.
by.
That'd be awesome.
Not to be political, but you might have to because Trump and Biden
Oh,
they're having their first
They're
duke
gonna
out,
be
debate
yeah.
that night?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm very I'm in politics, but like I was like, the night I chose is the night that they're doing that. But I'm like, it's fine.
Oh, okay. I
Right.
was gonna say we can still change it if you want.
No,
So
it's a perfect night, and so I'm already spreading the word and stuff. So it's
that's
gonna be,
awesome.
I think it'll be a fun time.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations on your open house. So.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
All right. So we're ready to go on to the smash burgers. Everybody ready?
Yes.
Mhm.
All righty. So this one, you've got your ground beef already in your bag, and you're going to add 1 tablespoon of our ultimate steak seasoning. So what I like to do is once it's in the bag, I just kind of mix it up and like mix in your ultimate steak into the ground beef. And then you're going to be taking this out and you're going to make 6 equal size like balls of meat so that you can make your patties. So you're going to need 6 patties at the end. Okay. And then once you make those patties, you can put your wax paper or parchment paper between each sheet or wrap them separately.
So
And so
I like to
obviously,
do mine in a bowl first and
Yeah.
mix all the seasonings.
yeah, because you don't like for me too. I usually do that too. I usually dump the meat back out of the bag because I like the seasoning to be blended all the way through
Yeah.
instead of just kind of stuck on something like in one part of it. It always seems like it ends up in one part of the meat more than the other. So yeah.
And then I decided to use a big sheet of parchment
Hmm.
to spread out my 6 separate, and then I will wrap them individually and freeze them so that I
Sounds
can
great.
grab 1 burger at a time.
That's perfect. Yeah, these are going to be delish.
That's
So.
that's a good idea, Debbie.
She's full of ideas. She's
No,
got great
I
ones.
I was like,
I have
I was
to.
sitting there, I'm like, I didn't know what to think of this one. I was like, how do you like either freeze it or
Yeah.
prep it for when you
Yeah.
want to eat it and stuff? And I mean, I
Yeah.
have to make 2 different dishes because my other half again is vegetarian vegan, so I have to use a lot of alternative option plant-based stuff. So
That's
that's
come a long way though, don't you think, compared to what it was?
yeah.
I
Oh yeah.
totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's so
Mhm.
many like I'm fascinated. I mean, I spend more time in the vegetarian and vegan aisle than I do it in the
Yeah.
regular aisle at the grocery store.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot better choices than there were,
Yeah.
so. I always
But
say that
that's
even
really
like,
good with the like prepping them in like solo. I like your idea on that. That's cool.
yeah. And if you're trying to make burgers all the same size, one thing you might want to consider, take the lid of a peanut butter jar and put a piece of plastic wrap down in the peanut butter jar, and then you can make your patties the same size. The other thing is we have a couple that jump on here, Katie and her husband, I think it's Brandon. They couldn't make it tonight, but they'll use their like cupcake tin or muffin tin, and they'll actually put their ground beef in there so that they are pretty much even, and like, the same size patties is what they're doing. And
Wow.
so when we were doing burgers, we did Burger Mania last month, and we did 5 or 6 different recipes of different types of burgers, and that was a lot of burgers. That was a very long workshop because it was making all those patties. But yeah, so they were doing that for every one of them, and then they just would flip them over, and the burgers would fall out. So it's a great tip
Yeah, that's
for
cool.
doing.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good.
Tracy and Wanda and Christopher, since you're like on here, well, I think Wanda, you've been on before, but do you have any questions for us as we're making these? As they're doing them? Any questions, feel free to ask.
No, no, I don't have any right now.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
The
Wanda?
burger is raw, right? You're mixing all the ingredients in raw burger
Yeah,
and
at this point.
freezing it raw, and then you're cooking it when it comes out. Okay,
Yes, yeah.
right? Okay.
correct. That is correct. Yeah,
No,
and the
I'll be
same with,
excited when I can.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I'll be excited when I can finally participate, but there was always a hiccup. We're almost through this.
She just moved, everybody. She moved
Ah.
out of state. So she
Oh my
moved,
God.
not just
500
like,
miles.
yeah, 500
Oh my
miles from where she
gosh.
lived. Yeah. So just a little different, different location,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
so,
But 500, I had a very successful business in Cincinnati, and 500 miles away, people haven't heard of it, but they're loving it.
Yeah.
yeah, she's doing a whole bunch of events and people are falling in love with it. So before long, she'll have a meal prepping with us. So, and she welcomed 4 new people to the team. Her team is growing like crazy. She
That's
she
good.
sponsored 4 new people this month.
Mhm.
Way to go. Yeah.
Bravo, bravo.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
You know, you just have to have ears. You have to listen for things that people say.
yeah.
Like, they need extra money, or I wish I knew how to cook, and that's your trigger to start a conversation.
Mm.
I love food.
Yeah.
I love it too. Yeah, that's a good one.
That's the start of it all. Is like everyone
Yes.
has to eat, and then everybody loves food. So it's the best conversation ever, always.
Yeah. And especially like when it's, and even if you love to do gourmet spreads of food, there are times in your life where you need something fast and still delicious. And so that's, I think, where this fills the void of that. Like if really all of our recipes, if you look online, they're going to be 4 steps or less. So if you have people that say, I never have enough time to cook, I hate to cook, if you can get through 4 steps or even less than 4 steps, you're
You
going to
got
have
it.
something delicious to eat. And when you're making it straight off the back of the packaging, like if it's a cheese ball, it's a block of cream cheese and 1 packet of the mix, and you've got a cheese ball, and it's got great flavor. So it's a great way to go.
Wow.
So,
Well,
cool.
one thing, like I don't know if anybody else is like brand new to the company and doing their consultant, being an independent consultant. There you go,
Tracy
Tracy.
is, yeah.
Since I am doing my first launch thing, I've already pre-ordered a lot of things, but what have you guys found to be successful for the launch for your first time, or what you guys see that are things that I should focus on, if you don't mind me asking?
So I can comment there. One thing that a lot of times you'll get pushback from people, like I have this stuff in my cabinet and I don't know what to do with it. What Kelly showed us with how to find a recipe, you'd be surprised the people that the light goes on, like, you're kidding me. No one's ever told me that. That's a huge tip, that once you show them on your phone, if you put this product in the search bar and you hit the word recipe, look at all the things you can make. And it's like a light goes off in their head. So that's a number one tip that I've found that people love and had no clue.
Awesome.
So definitely share that.
Okay, that's that's great information and great advice there. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to piggyback off of that, because we have our VIP rewards, like I know Mary signed up to get her VIP rewards, and Debbie's got them. Debbie used it for her meal,
I
his
did.
meal kit. Yeah. So we just started with the VIP rewards in February. And so if you're showing someone on their phone or on your phone, hey, here's how you can find the product and recipes, you can suggest that they open their account. And set up their account doesn't cost anything, but it just means that they're not checking out as a guest when they shop. They're connecting themselves to you for future purchases, and they're accruing points for every dollar they spend. They're going to earn a point, and when they get to 100 points, then they get a $10 off coupon code that they can use towards an order of $20 or more, and the points will keep accruing up to, I believe you can up to a $25 gift card. That you can use it all at one time. Or you can use just a portion of it. And you have 6 months to use those.
Cool.
So, and Debbie, so that's something I would mention too, because having people be repeat business is key in here, in our world of business. And so if they know they can be earning and accruing points to turn into, discounts, that's a big thing as well. And those are two resources that you're offering right away.
Yes.
Go ahead,
So
Deb.
my first order, when I signed up for VIP, I automatically got like 60 points.
Yeah, 50.
Was it
Oh, it's
50?
60 because it's 50 for signing up, and then probably whatever you spent, you got points
Whatever
for
I
each.
spent, I got
Yeah,
another 10.
yeah.
But I ordered again, I think on Barb's.
From the
Hey,
charcuterie class.
Yeah. And then I ordered this and I was able to take $10 off and I earned 35 points. So even though I redeemed some, I earned some, which was great.
Yeah.
Anytime
Yeah,
you
and
have any kind of discount or any kind of pointing system, like it's always a good thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So those are, I just like that when you're a resource, I think that's a big thing. People like that. So yeah.
And then
And
I
Trace,
learned this from Kelly, but I like it. When somebody buys something, you have the ability to see what they purchased. And then she suggested, like, if you send them a thank you note, or, if for whatever reason you have their order and you connect with them, print them a recipe using one of their products.
Yeah, that's cool.
yeah, and even if you're doing like if you're like doing online partying, you can even do it within a party. Like I do those messenger parties now, and I'll like if somebody places an order, then I'll send hey, thanks so much for your order. Here's a product, here's a recipe that features the product that you just used or that you just purchased. And I won't do it for all of them, but if you do it for one recipe for each person that orders in the party, then everybody in the party's seeing a bunch of recipes and they get excited and want to buy, they might want to buy those products because they saw it.
Yeah.
So
Awesome. Well, thank you for all that. That's a great.
yeah, sure.
Our
Alright.
website is wonderful. There's so many tools where like you can search once you've been in it a while. You can search who ordered the key lime cheese ball, or you can search by product or whatever. So that's a good way to do follow-up.
And that's
Like,
in the
do
back
you need
office
to
is what
do
she's
it?
talking about. Yeah.
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 But it takes time to learn all that.
Yeah.
But you'll get there. You hear Wanda, you can hear her talking and she's feels very confident in it now. So
Yeah.
it comes. Yeah. So
And I'm only in a year. I'm not in that long. So
Mm.
Well, thank you. That was all good feedback. I appreciate it. Look at Mary over there. Like she is booking butt.
she's going. I know.
got
It's,
it.
This is our first meal. This is the first time she's prepped with us. She's like, I got my instructions. I know what I'm doing. So
I know, and I'm great, because like you said, no more drive-through. This will be so much better.
I know. And you know what? You did that in less than an hour.
Hmm.
So
That's fantastic. Yeah.
yeah, just under, I mean, it's just about an hour. So yeah.
My
I didn't
first
talk
one, Mary, it took me forever. I did not prep enough before. Now I've got it down.
yeah.
I've got burgers done. I got my onion slices. I got my sauce.
Yeah.
I pre-did all my veggies. Yes.
That's the thing. When we get to some of the fall winter workshops, when they're chopping veggies, there's a lot of veggies to like sometimes there's veggies to chop. That one does take those take a little longer. So
Yeah.
so in July we'll be doing, and I didn't finish. I figured Debbie and Tracy, because I know Mary took off and did the burgers. Figure you're doing them on your own. You're
Yeah.
working
I'm
on
good.
them. Do you need me to talk you through? Okay. In July we'll be doing the cool down dinners. It's a 10 meal kit, but we're going to plan on doing 5 of the meals from there. We don't ever do 10 because first off, people are like, I don't want to buy groceries for 10 meals at one time. And a lot of times people will say with freezer space, they'd rather do 5 meals and then go back and they do the other 5 on their own. So sometimes we'll throw an extra one in if it's going to go pretty quick. We might do 6 meals, but we don't ever do 10. And then in August, and that date tentatively is July the 14th. It's a Sunday night. But we are kind of playing with the idea of whether we're going to be over the summer, if we're going to stick on Sundays or if we're going to be more a weeknight cooking. So, or workshop. So I'll talk with you all later about that, see what you thought about this. And then in August, we are going to do a summer slow cooker workshop. And Debbie, we did that last year, so those are not new meals to you. I think I'm going to stick with those same ones because those were pretty amazing meals.
Yeah.
And I think you did those last year. So
I think that was
Doesn't
like
it-
one of my first ones.
yeah. So, and I
How
don't,
often do they change the meals?
so we do a different set of meals we do a different set every month. But the company, they change, we do a catalog change twice a year. So we'll have, our national conference is in August, which is something that if you're a consultant, you can sign up to go to. It's in Chicago this year, the first weekend in August. Or you can do it virtually. And so I'm gonna stop